So just a few things to say about today. The builders are still in evidence. They're not actually working today, but there are some areas that are dusty and some areas where there are a few trip hazards and it's uneven. So I might tell you to occasionally just look down at your feet to see where we're going. If there is an emergency, in the unlikely event of, this is the fire evacuation, emergency evacuation point over there by the gazebo. They are quite well ventilated, large spaces, but when we go up the stairs and when we go into the smaller room upstairs, I'm going to wear my mask. I'm not going to wear it when I'm talking to you, otherwise you won't hear what I'm saying, so I will just stand well back from you at the other side of the room if I can. If you have any questions at any point, please do interrupt and ask me. We're going to go in at the back entrance today. This would normally be the main entrance, but we're going to do the one-way tour today. So we'll be going in the back, we'll walk all the way around the building, and then you'll have some time to spend looking at the exhibition on your own before you go back out and sign out at the gazebo. So when we first started this project, there were ceilings falling in, it was mouldy, there were patches of water all over the floor, so it has been completely transformed. So the windows on the outside have all been repaired and restored with secondary glazing. The roof has been completely renewed with brand new slate. So take care here, there's a change of level as you come up to the step. So the entrance we're going into now is effectively the stage door really, so this isn't where you would normally come in, and there are a few trip hazards, but we're going to walk into what is the performance space. So the Horton Chapel was actually built and finished in 1901, and when it was originally open, this was all one big space. So there were sort of 4 double doors on each corner, and there would be 1,000 patients would come in here for service. There would be Protestant, Catholic, Jewish services in here. It wasn't actually a consecrated building. They had this consecration stone which was carried around if they wanted to do something like a baptism, which needed to be a kind of an official ceremony. And then in 1955, a wall was put here, a dividing wall, to turn this particular area into a music therapy space, which was a really pioneering thing to do at the time. It's probably Europe's first music therapy space. There would have been a grand piano in here. Patients would come for performances, they would perform themselves. There were sessions that they would do music therapy, and they would also learn instruments in here. So it's really quite fitting that it's going to become the performance space for the Horton. So you'll be able to come here for live music, for theatre, talks, poetry, dance. As you can see, it'd be completely cleared as well, so it could be for yoga or Pilates. About 120 seats in here if you've got a sort of standard theatre setup. It's most likely the stage will be at that end, but it will be flexible, so you'll be able to have a catwalk in the middle, or you'll be able to use it for raised seating, so it'll be a really completely flexible space. This is actually a sample chair of one of our chairs. We've only got one at the moment, but there will be another 119 here soon. This room upstairs, the mezzanine, is new. That didn't exist before, so we've put that in as an extra space. Is there anybody here who needs to use the lift? You need to use the lift because you've got a buggy. Anybody else need to use the lift, or everyone else okay with stairs? Okay. Do you want to, Steve, do you want to? Okay, do you know how to, yeah, if just ask someone with the badge if you're not sure how to use it. Yes. So everybody else, let's go this way and head up the stairs. So this is our atrium space. So this is going to be the place where we have our permanent heritage exhibition. So you can see some of the interpretation points here. This will be free to enter for everyone. We've had volunteers, some of whom are the people with badges on, who've also helped to put together the content for this exhibition. There are recorded histories and stories from former patients and staff. You'll notice that these exhibits are on wheels, which means that we can completely clear them if we need to have a sort of a single event, whether that be an art fair or something like that. But generally this will be an exhibition space with creative arts classes, courses, workshops in kind of small groups around tables. So lots of different things happening at the same time in small groups. So new things, we've got the roof light are new, that's been put in. And obviously we've got the disabled access lift. But generally, we've tried to keep the space open plan so that you can really get the feel of the space and the traditional features. This will be our cafe space. So it'll be about 50 tables and chairs in here. Obviously some of them are the reconfigured pews. So these are the original pews that have been turned into bench seating. Original floor tiles, which will be clean at some point. And then this is where the choir stalls were. So when the choir stalls came up, there were sort of big holes in the concrete, so it wasn't really feasible to match those with original tiles. So they've got a contemporary solution here. So this is where you come for cafe during the day, for salad, sandwiches, soup, whatever. Or if you've been to see a performance, you can come for a drink before or during the interval in here. So some of these features, so the organ pipes, which are not in evidence at the moment, so they're being restored, and in fact they are these beautiful hand-painted organ pipes, and the colours of the cafe have been sort of inspired by the colours in the organ pipes. The lighting, these are contemporary fittings, but they're actually been modelled on Victorian pendant lights which were in the chapel when it first opened, which you can actually see on one of the exhibits on the welcome board over there. There's a postcard of the chapel in 1901, and you can see something that's almost identical to these lights here. The screen, this white rood screen with these the pillars here, that was actually installed in 1922, so it's nearly coming up for its 100th anniversary, and that was put in to commemorate Horton as a war hospital. Horton was a war hospital in the First and Second World War, so there are also memorial plaques that will be reinstalled onto this screen, and there's an eternal torch that's been relit on the other side. So essentially, it's a wonderful multi-use cultural space that we really want the community to come and use. It's a charity project. It's not for profit. It's not subsidised by the council. Our next part of the project is also to develop the grounds, which, as you probably see, are very overgrown at the moment with weeds, so they need to be completely cleared and made safe, because there are kind of 30 years of bricks and bottles and glass all underneath the rubble out there, and then put a lovely path in, some benches, maybe some sculptures, and it'll just be a really fantastic place to come and enjoy free of charge in the summer. So if anybody does want to make a donation on the way out, for that there is a tap to donate thing by the door. Please go and spend time at the exhibition, find out a little bit more about the history of the hospital cluster. We've got evaluation forms on a table over there, so let us know what you found interesting, what you might like to see more of, and if you're ever interested in volunteering. If you've got any questions, please come and ask anybody with a badge. Otherwise, you are free to wander. Thank you. Thank you.